we're back with our classes on carbon and its compound. We had just started carbon and its compound and took a break of about 3 days. So let us be back with where we left and start from where we left. We studied in carbon compounds that carbon basically is an element of which group of periodic table? 14th group of periodic table, and it is present in which period? Second period. Its valency or its atomic number is 6, its atomic mass is 12, it is written as a configuration 2,4 with 2 electrons in the K shell and 4 electrons in the L shell. Correct? We said its valence electron is 4, its valency is also 4. So, we now need to know the percentage of carbon present in the earth crust as well as in the atmosphere. In the earth crust it is present 0.02% in the form of minerals like carbonates, hydrogen carbonates, coal and petroleum. Whereas in the atmosphere it is present in the form of 0.03%, which is mainly in the form of carbon dioxide. Then we studied the bonding in carbon. We said carbon can neither gain electron nor lose electron. Let us suppose carbon, which has an atomic number 6, it has 6 electrons and 6 protons. Let us suppose it loses how many electrons? 4 electrons. So if it loses 4 electrons, it will have 2 electrons holding on to 6 protons, which is not correct, and there is a lot of energy required to remove an electron. So carbon as +4 does not exist. Then we went to the next logic that carbon will gain 4 electrons. So now what happens? 6 plus 4 electrons become 10 electrons, but the protons remain still 6. So 10 electrons cannot be held in position by 6 protons, and hence it can neither gain electrons. So for this reason, carbon does what? It shares electron, and this sharing of electron results in the formation of a bond, which is called what bonding? Covalent bonding. What is ionic bonding? The bond formed by complete transfer of electrons. Whereas what is covalent bonding? The bond formed by sharing of electrons. Okay, so again, you know, according to our configuration logic, if you have only one shell, then you should have how many electrons? 2 electrons. If you have more than one shell, then in the outermost orbit you should have how many electrons? 8 electrons. Then only you say that the octet is complete. Okay, now remove your notebooks and write. Examples of covalent bond. Examples of covalent bond. So the bond formed by sharing of electrons is called as what? Covalent bond. These are the examples which we will study of covalent bond. I'll make you do lot of examples of covalent bond, but whatever is given in the textbook, first we will solve that. So the first example of covalent bond is hydrogen, H2. So you can write show bonding in H2. Okay, so write first show bonding in H2. Okay, ಈಗ ನಾನು ಮಾಡಿಸೋ ರೀತಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಮಾಡಿಸೋ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು ಚೂರು ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಇರಬೇಕು, but we will follow the textbook. Okay, what I do the mistake was that it's not a mistake. The representation is slightly minus different. So let us see. First, hydrogen has an atomic number is 1. So it has only one shell and it has only how many electrons? 1 electron. How many hydrogen? 2 hydrogen. Both has got how many electrons? 1 electron. It has only one shell. So it requires how many more? one more. So ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ representation ಗೊತ್ತಾ ನೋಡಿ. This is one hydrogen. Correct? Only its valence shell. It combines with another hydrogen. Fine? And what it does? It shares electrons. So I generally write it on the border and show that there is a bond. How does your school or textbook teaches? It teaches you like this, and it says here is this is the bond. Only difference, I write it on the margin and show the bond. Your school textbook says like this. Is it clear? So now this atom edge also has 2 electrons. This atom edge also has 2 electrons. So this gave how many electrons? 1 electron. This gave also 1 electron. So there is one bond between H and H. As it has only one shell, it requires only one more electron to become as helium. So please write H plus H forms H2. Done? Artha aitu how it is shared, because this is a common space for both. So both, when they are placed there, they will share the same electron and form a bond which will complete its helium configuration, and hence it becomes stable. Okay, now next, this is what bond? This is a single covalent bond. Artha aita? Please write, it is single covalent bond. It is single covalent bond. Now next example. Let us take oxygen. Show bonding in O2. Very, very important. Okay, mark it and write. Show bonding in O2. Oxygen, atomic number is 2. 8. Oxygen is an atomic number 8. So its configuration is what? 2, 6. Aditya now it is present in 16th group, second period. So it is 2 and 6. How many electrons in its outermost shell? 6. To become 8, how many it requires? 2. So what we will do, while representing oxygen, we will put 2 onto one side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Either one oxygen. Then another one I will put. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Correct? Because I require 2 more, I have put 2 together. Fine? So what it will form? 1, 2. ಇದನ್ನು ಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ನಾವು ನೋಡಿ ಉಳಿದಿರೋ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ನ ನಮಗೆ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡೋಣ. Now count for every oxygen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Complete? For this oxygen, let us take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Complete? So now this oxygen is related to the other oxygen with how many bonds? Double bonds. Here, one pair of electron means one bond. Another pair of electron means another bond. Is it clear why I took 2 to one side? I took 2 to one side because it has an outermost configuration 6. It requires how many more? 2 more to become 8. So we put the 2 to one side. Is it clear? ಇದರಲ್ಲೂ ಏನಿದೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ I am writing it on the margin. Your textbook writes something like this. This they will not cut. This is absolutely fine because you will remember by drawing it on the margin. Okay? So please write oxygen. So how many covalent bond? Double covalent bond. Okay, idenne suppose they tell you to draw electron dot structure of oxygen. So ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಈ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ನ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅವಾಗ ಡಾಟ್. So it becomes electron dot structure. Done? Shall I go to the next one? Now write, please write oxygen to oxygen, double covalent bond. Double covalent bond. Now the next one. Let us write the third example as nitrogen. Third example is what? N2. Nitrogen. Okay. Now N. What is its configuration? Ionic bond ಓದಿಲ್ಲ. Nitrogen configuration ಏನು? 2,5. So it is 7. 8 ಆಗೋಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು electrons ಬೇಕು? 3. So what we will do out of 5? 3 to 1 side. So N 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus another N which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Correct? So it will form what? A molecule which will have 1, 2, 3. Ill-1 bond, Ill-1 bond, Ill-1 bond. Now please look here. Let us see whether they have 8 electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Illi nodi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So how is bonding? N triple bond N. So it is what? N triple bond N. Clear? How did we get it as 3 to one side? Because it requires what? It has 5. It requires 3 more to become what? 8. So we put 3 electrons to one side. In oxygen it was 6. So we put 2 electrons to one side. And hence we shared those electrons in the common space. Is it clear now? How are we doing it? Now for the next one. Show bonding in. ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಹೆಸರು ಗೊತ್ತು. First was what? Hydrogen gas. Second was what? Oxygen gas. Third was what? Nitrogen gas. And now the fourth one. This is CH4. CH4 is what? Methane. What is CH4? Methane. Till now we had the same element. Now we have 2 different elements. One is what? Carbon. One is what? Hydrogen. So first carbon. Carbon is what? 6. 2 and 4. Fine? So it requires how many more electrons? 4 electrons. And hydrogen is what? 1. And it requires how many electrons? 1 electron. So first we will draw carbon. Take a go. carbon, it has 1, 2, 3, 4. Correct? And then we have 4 hydrogen. Because there are 2 different species, I am taking one as dot and one as cross. Clear? So now if you look here, every place if hydrogen comes, won't it become 8? 4. Ilon hydrogen electron ಬಂದ್ರೆ 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ಹಿಂಗಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ ನಾನು ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ? ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ it will become 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Will not C be complete? So same logic we will do here. See, in the common space between C and H, all hydrogen will come and pair up. These are all electrons of what? Hydrogen. So it all come and pair up together and it will form what? This is what? Carbon. These are all hydrogen. So it forms what? C, H, H, H and H. So this becomes what? CH4. Is it clear how we got 8 electrons? Please write. Representation should be very clear. You should write carbon, you should write hydrogen. And ಇವತ್ತು ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ionic bond ಓದಿ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು. ionic bond ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಇದೆ, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಶೇರಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ರೀಡ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಒನ್ಸ್ ionic bond. Done. Now we will write, these were the 4 examples that were given in the textbook as hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen and methane. Now we have to study more of them so that you really understand how does covalent bonding takes place. So I will give you some time to draw and then I will explain again. So our next compound which we will study is water. Show bonding in H2O. Okay, show bonding in H2O. So I'll tell you, hint, oxygen 8 to 6. It requires how many more? 2 more. But hydrogen can only share 1. So at every place 1 electron hydrogen will share. So hydrogen is what? It is only 1. Hydrogen cannot get 2 electrons because it requires only 1. So how many hydrogen we are requiring? 2 hydrogen. So we because hydrogen requires only one. Understood? Plus how many hydrogen I have? 2 hydrogens. Correct? It will form what? H2O. How will it form H2O? Oxygen will be at the center. It will have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you will have one hydrogen coming up here. And here also there will be one hydrogen coming up. To form water. So now count the number of electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So it has got all the 8 electrons. Is it clear? So how will we write? We will write final structure as O, single bond, H, single bond, H. Is it clear? Understood this much? Please write. Now after this, sitting here, please do show bonding in NH3 and CO2. Show bonding in NH3 and CO2. Raghav, pause one. So now as we said, show bonding in NH3 and carbon dioxide. So we will first study NH3. NH3 is, this is which number compound NH3? 4th or 5th? 6th is NH3. So 6th is NH3. So N is what? N is 7. It has what? 2, 5. Hydrogen is 1. You know hydrogen can only have 1 electron. Sharing of 1 electron. So we will draw nitrogen. This is our nitrogen. 1, 2. It requires 3, 4 and 5. Why did I separate it like this? Because hydrogen के साथ pair करते समय only 1 electron can be shared. Plus how many hydrogen? 3 hydrogen. So it will form what? You have N, you have this, you have this, or rather I will not draw it on the margin. So you have 1 and 1. This becomes hydrogen. 1 and 1. This becomes hydrogen. Again. So our structure becomes what? N, H, H, H. 3. This was done easily. Now the next one, which is carbon dioxide. Let us understand now the next one, which is carbon dioxide. The 7th one, carbon. It has got 6. It is 2 and 4. Oxygen 8. It is 2, 6. Remember the 6. It requires how many electrons? 2 more to become 8. So we will take our carbon with 2 electrons on one side and 2 on the other. Because oxygen requires 2, 2. Plus how many oxygen? 2 oxygen. What are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So what happens when you draw carbon dioxide? You have carbon which has got electrons and you have these as oxygen. This is carbon. So first electrons of carbon. These are our 4 electrons. Electrons of oxygen, which it requires 2 more. So this becomes double bond. Now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This completes another oxygen. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you look into everything. It is 8 carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oxygen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it is final structure is what? C, double bond O, double bond O. Okay? Now for tomorrow's homework, I am giving you only 2 compounds. C3H8. Names I'll teach you tomorrow. Show bonding in C2H6 and C3H8. Okay? After this, see, C2 means you will have 2 carbon and 6 hydrogen. So while writing, you will write like this: 2 carbon plus 6 hydrogen. Clear? And then however you can make. If you can't do it, please don't Google it. I will teach you tomorrow. Okay? So there is 2 bondings you have to show. They are covalent bonded compounds. I am not confusing with you ionic compounds. So this is C2H6 and C3H8. If you don't get, don't bother, just try once. Okay? Yes. So tomorrow we will continue with our bonding and we will also study hydrocarbons.